boy.
I'm about to go live, and I'm live right now with another episode of BS Specials. I'm joined by the man of the hour, Kenoshi Abominito, and the lady of the hour, Joel Ryder Moonstar. So, with that being said, let's get into it.
and I can think of no better way than to say this. GameStop, I know you are trying to keep yourself afloat, but for heaven's sake, wash your peeping ass, you stupid sons of bitches.
Well, I mean, the thing is like they're saying GameStop's big thing. For those of you who don't know, is that GameStop, except in California, where the governor said you got to close this shit down now. Although I don't know why, because I don't see like. Okay, okay, wait a second. Jewel, introduce yourself, then Kenoshi, then we'll get into it.
Sorry about that. It's just that it was that foul. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to BS Concerning Louis Podcast. I am Julia, your Moonstar. Oh, gods, I'm going to need soap after that.
Yeah, Kenoshi.
As Kenoshi Abominito saying, I really don't care if GameStop closes. I haven't gone to a GameStop in years. So.
How can I put this? This is Mr. Red Fox. I'm just gonna say this right now. I don't go to GameStop. I'll be the first person to tell you. I don't go to GameStop, but one of the GameStops that, like, there's like 4 or 5 GameStops near me. I think 2 of them have closed by now, but there's like 2 or 3 near me, and like the big one that I've been close to is the one that's in the mall. Because in the mall that's closest to me, like one of the main entrances that I use to get into the mall is like a few meters away from the food court, which is also close, and it's also kind of close to Costco, which is a place where I frequent because if you want to buy toilet paper, paper towels, paper plates, plastic utensils, Dixie cups, Costco's got you covered. You can't beat Costco when it comes to price and trash bags. Like it's like really it's the prices are great. This isn't a paid sponsorship. I'm just telling you how it is. Plus, if you're hungry sometimes but you don't want to buy anything, go to Costco in the middle of the day and just get samples and you're good. You're good. And plus they have really good pizza at their deli. But that's aside from the point. Near my Costco, like in the mall, is also a Cinnabon, and right next to the Cinnabon is a GameStop, and like, I mean, I pass by there. There's never anyone in there. I'm like, I don't know how this place is still open, but that's neither here nor there. The thing about GameStop, from what I've read from the articles, that GameStop is basically trying to argue, well, we're essential to be open. Now, here's the thing, okay? GameStop has been going down for years, in terms of the amount of money they could make for sales, because basically GameStop was pretty much like, I mean, like, I'm gonna let you know a little secret. GameStop hasn't really been profitable for
Several years.
I would say since about a year after they bought all those EBs, and rebranded them as GameStops. Like a year after that, so they basically haven't really been making their revenue generation was flat and making a downturn for years after that event. The only reason they made money that year and the year after that was because they bought all those different locations. And that's it. They haven't really been increasing the amount of revenue they've been making for years. It's been going down. Now, part of that is because there's other places where you can buy shit aside from GameStop, even just physical stuff. You can go to Walmart, Target,
the list goes on.
Amazon. I buy a lot of my games through Amazon and my local mom and pop. Like, I refuse to go to GameStop because I just got tired of people always hassling me, trying to upsell me on shit that I don't want. Hey, you want a warranty? Let me tell you something, okay? Video game warranties.
If you need a warranty, that means that you have a problem at home.
Video game warranties are bullshit for video games. Now, for a console, I can understand, especially if you have a console that's prone to breaking, like the Xbox 360.
frog in the throat.
The corona got me with that. No, COVID-19. No, I'm joking. It's a little morbid. I'm sorry, but in all seriousness, though, like there's other places where you can buy this stuff. You don't need to go to GameStop, and you don't need to be you don't need people hard selling stuff to you while you're trying to buy shit. Which is, I mean, that's the thing that got on my nerves about GameStop. They never had the games I wanted. The people who were behind the counter hated the system that I wanted to play on. Because like back in the day when I did used to go to GameStop, I was heavy into the 3DS, the DS, the GameCube, the Wii.
Oh yeah, don't remind me of the Nintendo hate.
I mean,
From those guys.
I also had a PS2 and a PS3, so I wasn't like I wasn't destitute. But you get what I'm saying? Like but like I go to GameStop, like, yeah, I'm looking for this game. Oh, we don't have it. Or like, do you have it new? No, we don't have it. We have it used though. I'm like,
you sons of beeps.
I don't want it used. I want it new. God damn it. But yeah, GameStop has just basically been they've been messing
downhill.
up. They've been messing up. And they're telling. Now here's the irony of ironies about GameStop right now is that they're telling GameStop,
officers of the law.
Well, no, they're telling the higher ups, the people who are in upper management, mid tier and upper management, to stay home, do their work through emails. But they're telling the people who are on the ground and actually have to do the work that make money for the rest of the company, oh, go to work. People aren't going into GameStop unless, I mean, I guess GameStop is banking that people are so desperate for money that they're trading in games and smartphones and tablets in order to get a little bit of cash.
Say, how desperate you have to be to sell your stuff to GameStop?
But the thing is, I actually wouldn't be surprised if that ends up happening, because some places are going to be shut down longer than others. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, here's the thing. I can understand people being desperate, but, I mean, I'm just going to say this right now. Now, I'm not in that state. I had to shut down my business because, I mean, just people are afraid to come out, and I don't want my workers coming in getting exposed to sickness so that they can get sick and then expose my customers. But, I'm lucky that I can do that. But, like...
Some places aren't able to.
Yeah, some places aren't able to do that, but... What I'm saying is that it's just... Like, I guess GameStop is... But here's the thing. They gotta be spending more money staying open because people aren't going to GameStop. I mean, right now, people who are stuck in their house are going to be buying shit digitally, or if they want it physically, they're going to have it delivered to their house through Amazon. Why would you go to a game? That doesn't make sense. I mean, it sounds like it costs more for them to stay open than it does for them to
shut down.
Yeah, they would be saving money to not be open because then they don't have to pay those people. I mean, that's kind of heartless, and I don't think GameStop has paid sick leave, so...
They don't.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know. I think when I got out of college, I applied to work at GameStop once, and they didn't say shit to me about it, so I was like, oh, okay, I guess I won't be working here ever again.
Trust me, I tried to apply for GameStop. Never got in, which is probably a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I could totally work. I was like, no, I'm good. I don't want to work at GameStop. But yeah, I applied once because I'm like, hey, I know about video games. I could totally work. I know about video games. I could totally work at GameStop. They never got back to me.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts about this? They're like their argument is that, well, if the police try to shut you down, you should argue that GameStop is an essential service.
I think that's.
You're only essential if you could produce something that others can't.
I think that's
And
great.
what can GameStop do?
I think that's crazy because it's video games. You don't need video games to live. So
Exactly.
who's gonna? It's like if you're stretched for cash, what are you gonna buy the new Doom Eternal, or are you gonna buy food, or are you gonna pay for your rent?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that gets me. They're like, yeah, well, we're essential. I'm like, no, you're not. There is absolutely nothing fucking essential
About video games.
about video games. Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, they're entertainment.
It's nice to have video games. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be like, oh man, I shouldn't, man. I don't want these video games. It's nice to have video games, but you don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's one of the first things to be aimed at when it comes to crises like this? Places of entertainment.
But yeah, that's just me. I'm one of those people who's just very much like, like when I read that, I was like, what type of bullshit is this? Like that's basically what I was saying. I was like, what horse shit is this? Because I mean, that's the only way I can really think of it, is that this is horse shit.
Way to be more vulgar than usual today, Red.
Well, I mean, it is.
Even though it's true, yeah.
I mean, when something's that effed up, you can't be like, well, it's not that bad. Yeah, yeah.
I thought you'd be cleanly insulting them. That's what I would call it. Cleanly insulting GameStop.
No, man. I mean, at this point, you got to say it. You got to be like, look, this is too much. You have like this is too much.
Yeah.
This is.
This is BS. That is BS even for the BS.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be like, well, it's not that bad. Yeah, it's that bad. Yes, it is. How dare they do this? I mean, I don't normally say that. I'm not normally like, oh man, how dare they do that? But this is a bridge too far.
Yeah, and this is from gamers, mind you. People that love to have fun.
Yeah, I like to have fun, but I don't want to have fun at someone else's expense. Let me put it that way. All right.
Yeah.
That's the mistake that a lot of people make.
Yeah. It's hard to tell if these people actually like people that are in charge of GameStop actually like GameStop.
No, I don't I don't think they give a shit about gamers. I really don't. And I mean, to be fair, I mean, look, this is a business. I mean, there's some people who don't like certain things who did some wonderful things in business. So that doesn't necessarily mean that
that everything's bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, case in point. One of my favorite movies of all time is Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And Oh, damn. Is Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan and Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country. And these movies are some of my favorite films, and they were done by Nicholas Meyer. Nicholas Meyer is not a Star Trek fan, but those are really good movies because he understood that, you know.
The lore.
Well, I mean, he had a healthy appreciation for the lore. So, I mean, you don't have to be a fan of something in order to make a good movie. Like the guy who directed, Empire Strikes Back. Like, a lot of people consider that to be one of the best Star Wars movies ever. He wasn't a Star Wars fan. He wasn't even a science fiction fan, but he knew how to basically tell that story well. So, I mean, you don't have to be a fan of something in order to make it successful. Not all the time. Now, there's some things where I'm like, okay, yeah, you kind of need to be a fan in order to understand it. But if you aren't a fan, that doesn't help. But I mean, like when you're trying to argue that you need to exist, and yet there's nothing that you're doing that's really making this work, I don't know what to say. I don't know.
You're just full of it.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
That's the long and short of it.
So, anyway, let's move on to the next topic. I think we've railed on GameStop long enough because I mean, there's other stuff we want to talk about. Here's a little bit of news that might make you happy. The people who made The Messenger are doing a Kickstarter for a kind of Paper Mario-esque cross with Chrono Trigger hybrid called Sea of Stars. And the shit looks good. I mean, it looks like the combat system in terms of just the aesthetics is like Chrono Trigger, but they have time to attacks, kind of like Super Mario RPG for the SNES. So it looks fun as hell. Not gonna lie.
I second that.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. Let's see what else. Yeah, and another example of GameStop. I mean, not game. Another example of games. Not every Kickstarter is a fraud or a failure. Because their first game, The Messenger, was also a Kickstarter game. Here's some news. Octopath Traveler has sold 2 million on the Switch and is now 50% off.
That is such a sweet thing.
Yeah, and I don't think that was a AAA game. I know Squaresoft. Sorry,
That
Square
was a
Enix,
double A
Square
or
Enix,
single A game, yeah.
Yeah, Square Enix presented it as a AAA game. They priced it as a AAA game, but that game was not a AAA game because really once you beat that game, you had the entire experience. There was no DLC. There was no extra shit. It was just that game. Let's see what else we got going on here. Clive and Wrench was shown. Now this game has been in development for 9 years, and it looks like a long lost N64 game. I'm not gonna lie. You like N64? Yeah. So, so where do you guys
Fall on some of
I
that.
haven't seen that game, so.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
guess we could keep it moving.
I'm impressed and would hope to see more, but I could wait.
Yeah, like I said, it looks like a long lost N64 game in a good way. Because I know people always are like, the N64 was bullshit. I actually like the N64. I mean, I think the N64 was a little too kart
Retro?
racer. No, it was a little kart racer heavy and 3D platformer heavy. Because the thing is like you had you had some really good, but the thing is that you had some really good kart racers on the system. Like even some of the mediocre kart racers were still pretty good, except for South Park Racing. That game sucked.
I was about to say, you actually got South Park Racing.
No, I rented it, and it was terrible. It was a steaming pile of shit. Like there were some good racing games for the N64, like Snowboard Kids 1 and 2, Beetle Adventure Racing. Pod Racer wasn't that good. I know a lot of people got hyped up on it, but Pod Racer wasn't that good. Naboo Starfighter was okay, but Pod Racer sucked. Let's see what else.
I was hoping that you didn't get that, so.
What, Pod Racer? No, I rented it.
No, I mean, I hope you didn't get the bad game. That's what I was talking about.
Oh no! I like for me. This is back in the day where you could rent games before you played them for consoles. Like rent them for like $5 a day or $5 for like a weekend or something or whatever. And basically, what I would do is I would rent games, and then like if it was a game that I wasn't quite sure about, I would rent it, and then I would play over the weekend. I'm like, I might get it, I might not get it. So I rented South Park because South Park was the it thing in the late 90s because it had just come out. The movie was about to hit. It was a big thing. I actually saw South Park the movie. It's not really that good.
Bigger, longer, and uncut.
Yeah, the movie's not that good.
It's a mixed bag. Like there's some parts that you could really say was a laugh riot, and others, well.
I mean, here's the problem with South Park the movie. South Park the movie suffers from the same thing that about half of the Saturday Night Live movies fall under, which is you basically took a skit, like a 5 to 7 minute skit, and stretched it out to a movie. South Park the movie is literally a 22-minute episode that's been padded out to an hour and a half, or is it like 88 minutes, whatever. Like feature length, and it's like this didn't need to happen. We did not need to have a feature length South Park episode. You know.
Yeah, so that could have been at least a 3-parter.
Basically, or at least a 2-parter, like an hour episode that's split in half or whatever. But that's just me. I know some people will disagree. Although I did think it was funny that Kyle went on this journey to find the Claris. That was hilarious. He goes in the wrong direction. He goes to Canada. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense.
I'm trying not to face palm.
It would have made sense for him to go to Mexico or South America, but Canada? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
But, maybe Australia, but Canada? Whatever.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, I mean, I know the joke they were going for, but it didn't land quite that well. But anyway, yeah.
You aim too far north.
Yeah, but South Park, bigger, longer, uncut. Yeah, the movie was coming out, and so they made that game. They had like 3 South Park games. They had the one that was like a first-person shooter, except instead of guns, you were throwing snowballs at turkeys, which was kind of stupid. And then they had the trivia game, Chef's Love Shack. Yeah, and then they had South Park Racing, which sucked. Like, all those games are terrible. Now, here's what I'll say about Ubisoft and Obsidian. The 2 South Park games, the first one made by Obsidian, the second one made by Ubisoft, those games are actually pretty good. South Park: The Stick of Truth and The Fractured But Whole, The Fractured But
Yeah.
Those are pretty good. But
Nice.
That was the first time. That's the first time we got good South Park games, because before that they were just trash. Like, I stand by that. South Park is not a good.
I only own one of those games, and that would be the South Park shooter.
Yeah, they're not good. Yeah, so,
It's not terrible, but
it's not terrible.
God,
but it's like, here's the thing: compared to the first-person shooters that are available on the system, it's not good.
Yeah. You could do better with those. I mean, I got GoldenEye 007.
Yeah, GoldenEye, Winback, Perfect Dark. Hell, even Jet Force Gemini with its awkward ass controls is a better shooter than South Park. And I mean, the thing about South Park is that it's so basic. It's like it's in the you look at the other first-person shooters and third-person shooters on the system, and you see hell. I mean, even the multiplayer death matches in Donkey Kong 64 and Conquer 64 were better than what you were getting in South Park. It's basic, and this is the whole game. It's just basic as fuck. It's basic. It's like, damn, you could have done better than this. I mean, I know it's the N64, but you could have done better than this. But let's keep it moving. So here we go. We'll get through some of this news. The big one was obviously GameStop arguing that they're up there with food, water, and toilet paper.
We could go into a rant with some of that later.
Yeah. So here's some conversational pieces. So this is from Nintendo Enthusiast. So this guy who's the writer of the article says that he has top 5 dream announcements for the next Nintendo Direct. I almost said Nintendo Erect, but that is a completely different thing. Yeah. So Nintendo Switch Online update. That's his first wish list. His second one is Breath of the Wild sequel story trailer. Okay.
That works.
His third one is Super Mario Odyssey 2 surprise reveal. You know, after playing that first one, I don't want another one.
I was about to say, you're reaching for that one.
Well, after that first Odyssey, I don't want another Odyssey because it feels like a prettier version of Super Mario Sunshine, and I don't like Super Mario Sunshine, so I don't... Okay.
Yeah, as I said, that one is a reach.
He says, any Metroid news? You know what? Whatever.
Are you going to give it to him?
I mean, just me personally, okay. If they do Metroid news, I want to hear that they're still working on Metroid Prime 4. But here's the thing. I don't want Metroid Prime 4 to be on the Switch. I know that's terrible, but I don't. I don't.
To be honest with you, I actually agree. Which I could hear people saying in the background, especially one annoying audience member in the background, that it should be on the Switch. Hey, you and I both know who that one is.
I just personally don't think the Switch could handle the type of game world that you would have to have in a Metroid Prime 4. Like, this can't just be, well, it's just a slightly prettier version of Metroid Prime 3 with more planets. Like, you can't, it's gotta be bigger than that. It's gotta be like, man, look at this shit. Look at this awesome shit right here. You know, like, it can't, it can't.
You need a fully dedicated console or handheld for this kind of stuff.
No, Metroid Prime is a console game. That needs to be on a console. Like Metroid Prime is the type of game where it's a marquee title. You know, it's basically kind of like a Halo, except without the sales. It's like, man, look how big this game is. Look how much cool shit we can do. That's the way Metroid Prime should be.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because you don't want to skip out on the details of something this big, and having it dedicated to at least a system would be a grand thing.
I mean, just the type of shit. The first Metroid Prime. Okay, it opens up with you attacking the bottle ship that has the Bottle Queen on it, or whatever, and where basically some shit went down. And whatever these space pirates were trying to weaponize got out, and they got fucked up. And you see a wounded space pirate is all on the ground, all fucked up. Early on, this is the tutorial level, and he's attacking you, and you can kill his ass, and he's wounded. It'll be right there. You find out how cold-blooded Samus is. She is not a hero. This woman is insane. Okay, she fucking kills this dude who's wounded and dying because he's.
I was about to say, insane is putting it kindly.
Okay, she's borderline psychopath. Okay.
Yes.
When it comes to the space pirates,
homicide.
I mean, they did kill her parents, but still, I mean, goddamn, it's but this is the beginning of the game. You cannot do that type of experience on a handheld. Okay, like the way I played Metroid Prime, I played it on my Wii, on the trilogy, on my Wii. No, I got the original things, and then later on I played it again on my Wii, using on my sound system with surround sound, with Dolby Digital. Like that's the type of experience, and that's a console. That's not a handheld. Okay, that's a console game. You need to have this experience on a fucking console. Okay,
That I could honestly agree with.
and you can't
It
do
can't be
that
on the
shit.
hybrid.
Yeah, you can't be on a hybrid or handheld. This is a console experience. Kanoshi, what do you think? If I can tear you away from Dragon Ball a little bit.
I would agree. I think it should be on a console. It's always been a console game, so it's always been presented as a console game.
You know, they need to. I mean, to basically to put it succinctly, they need to blow this motherfucker out the park. You need to, when you see Metroid Prime 4, you need to be like, God damn, this couldn't have been done on the Wii U. This couldn't have been done on the Wii. This couldn't have been done. This would be the first fully HD Metroid Prime game. This would need to be a game where you're like, wow, like this couldn't have been done last gen. And I'm sorry, but most of the games I've seen on the Switch are games that could have been on the Wii U. Like, I haven't seen one game on the Switch where I'm like, yeah, this could have only been done on the Switch. And the last one we have here is from Ben Lemero, is a back to basics Paper Mario game.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like a back to basics Paper Mario game. I would love a back to basics Paper Mario game. You know, not like the dumbed down, over casualized, streamlined bullshit we've been getting from
some of the Nintendo's weaker members.
No, from Intelligent Systems, because that's who's in charge of the Paper Mario series, is Intelligent Systems, and we've been getting trash. I'm sorry. Color Splash was mediocre. It wasn't terrible, but it was mediocre at best.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anything,
Sticker Star was trash.
Yes, okay. I can fully agree with you on that.
And Super Paper Mario.
Oh, Sticker Star was trash.
Yeah, Super Paper Mario. The story was actually really good. The gameplay was bullshit.
Horrid.
The gameplay was bullshit. I stand by that. The gameplay in you should never be playing a Super Paper Mario is not about platforming. Never been about platforming. The platforming in Super Paper Mario games is trash. But it's an RPG. You can't expect really good platforming in a RPG, even if it has action elements, because that's not the main thrust of an RPG. It's leveling up your characters, combat, that type of thing.
Getting them skilled.
I mean, because remember in the first two Paper Mario games, for the N64 and the GameCube, you could do a perfect counter. Like if you press the B button as an enemy attacked you, would you not take any damage? If you timed it
just right, you could harm them instead of them hitting you.
Well, not only did you not take damage, but it would do double damage back to the enemy. So let's say you were facing a Spikehead Goomba Trooper, like they would try and bonk you, and typically they did 2 damage, but if you did it perfectly, that it would do 4 damage to them. So basically, if you had badges that enhanced your counter damage, you would basically kill them in 1 counter if you got it perfect. Could you do that in Sticker Star? Fuck no, because we made this for babies. Hey, could you do it in Color Splash? I don't know. I played like
You can, though. If anything, the timing is weird.
I played about 30 minutes of Color Splash, and I was like, I don't like this game, and I gave it to my cousin. So I don't know.
Hey, I'm the one that owns it, so if anything, I'm at least telling you what I experienced.
I don't know. I was like, no, not happening. So I washed my hands of the game. I know some people are gonna be like, how could you do that? Very easily. It was very easy for me to say, yeah.
I was about to say, it's one thing to just Color Splash, but it's another thing if you own Sticker Star. So
I owned Sticker Star.
On that.
I owned Sticker Star. Because I was a fan. I was like, well, maybe I looked at the art style. I'm like, oh, so they're going back to the way it used to be. And I saw the attacks. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I got it, and I'm like, this is some bullshit. But I don't
I did
trade my
research
games.
beforehand.
There's only one game that I traded in. That I've traded in since I've been like an adult, like myself, and had money and shit. And that was Skyrim. Skyrim's the only game I ever traded in, and I fucking hate that game. For the PS3, and that's because Skyrim for the PS3 was fundamentally broken. I actually got like $43 for it from GameStop, which is weird because that game was not worth $43 at the time, but whatever.
Your mileage may vary.
Yeah, it's weird, but I did trade it in almost like I want to say
Instant.
Like, I've traded it in after less than a month, so like 2 or 3 weeks. So our next little bit. What do you guys wish for your top announcement for the next Nintendo Direct Direct? Your next Nintendo Directs. They don't have to be 5. They could be 2 or 3 or 1, whatever. Like something that if they came out with that, you're like, man, this Direct was totally worth it.
Let's see. For me, first would be new game announcements. Second would be an update on some of the games that they mentioned in the past. Like, at least tell us that they're doing Metroid 4, or at least let us know how it's going so far. And if anything, maybe surprise us with a legacy game like how the Legend of Zelda's doing. Or hold on, that was be number 2. Number 3 would be, hopefully, and this is a big hope, hearing a new handheld is coming soon.
Yeah, that's a long shot right there.
I said it was a long shot, and oh boy, you probably can't get any longer than that.
That's like that movie, The Long Shot. That's a real long shot. That's a shot that's going out of our solar system into like where the Voyager 1 probe went past. You know, that's a real long shot right there. But hey, keep on dreaming, keep hope alive, as Jesse Jackson says.
Yeah, and you can understand why.
Well, because you like dedicated handhelds. I like dedicated handhelds too, but I don't think if they're gonna drop a dedicated handheld, it'll be at the end of the Switch's life cycle. Like that'll be when they'll do that. It won't be now because they're only like halfway through it at this point.
I would say at the 3/4 line when those new systems come out.
Yeah, but if because the Switch is a hybrid, they don't want to cut off its hybrid nature, so I just don't see them doing that. Not for the Switch. Like if it was a console, I'd agree with you, but it's a hybrid, so they don't want to steal thunder from the hybrid. Kenoshi, what are your thoughts of the top things you want to hear from the next Nintendo Direct?
Obviously, what's coming out in the winter and what's coming out in the spring and summer? Like, is
I don't know. I mean, their big game was Animal Crossing for spring, so I don't know. I mean, winter, because technically we're still in winter. So I don't know.
I just want to, what's their big summer holiday lineup? So.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say something. I want to hear about some new games coming to their Nintendo, to their NES and SNES online service. Mostly because, and I stand by this statement, compared to the Virtual Console for the Wii and the Wii U and 3DS, it's trash. And I stand by that. So, because, I mean, look, listen, I have the Virtual Console. I have those games on my 3DS. I have those games on my Wii and my Wii U. But, I mean, it's like my TV only has so many connections, so I only keep a certain amount of games hooked up to my TV at any given time, and I don't feel like pulling out my old consoles in order to play, 1 or 2 old-ass games. It's nice having those games digitally and just being able to boot up the console and play those games again. That being said, I would like to hear about some of that shit coming in. I too would love to hear about a new Paper Mario game going back to the way Paper Mario used to be, and not this over casualized bullshit we've been getting over the last few iterations.
Okay, there.
I'd like to hear them bring back some older IPs that have been sleeping on, like a traditional Wario game, a traditional. I didn't say WarioWare. Wario. It used to be a 2D
Yeah.
platformer, and then it turned into kind of like a puzzle platformer, which is just as fun.
Yeah, I could tell that you're done having Wario trying to rake in the cash by plucking in mini games.
I mean, I like the minigame compilations, but the thing is like after a while, those get kind of boring. I mean, just to keep it real, they don't have a lot of replay value because the only thing is that they get faster and they get harder, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's the painful part.
I mean, they could do kind of like a, this could scratch both itches if they did a Paper Mario game, but instead of Mario, it's Wario, so it's Paper Wario, and
Wario.
your playable characters were characters from the WarioWare series. So you had like 9-Volt. Maybe his special attacks were little mini games like from WarioWare. That'd be interesting. But aside from that, I would like I'm tired of the traditional WarioWare format.
Formula.
Yeah, it gets old really quickly. Not to mention we haven't had a new WarioWare in a while. Anyway.
Actually, that's a little scary because if that WarioWare usually is in at least once in every console, and knowing that he hasn't shown up, yeah, handheld, yeah. But I was saying, since we haven't heard from him in a while, that makes me wonder what the heck are they up to?
I don't know, but I like to see one. And let's see what else. I'd like to hear some news about the SNES controller being back in stock for the Nintendo Online, because I like the SNES controller, and plus you can use it for other shit too. So I'd like to get one of those if I possibly could. Next little bit of news. Or what would you like to see here, Kenoshi?
Yeah, I would like to. I didn't even know those. They haven't put those back in stock.
No, like they came out and they got snapped up like that, and then that was it. Like when you're in high school and the new hot girl comes in, she transfers over, and you're like, man, the dudes who are single, man, I gotta get in on that, and she gets snapped up like that by some dude. It's like, fuck, out of the game. Yeah, that's basically how those SNES controllers got snapped up. They were gone, man. Gone like that.
Oof.
Yeah.
Blinked and they were gone. Because I was on the wish list. I'm like, man, I'm going to get some. I went to go buy mine. The shit was gone. And they have not restocked yet. And considering all that shit's made in China, they ain't restocking anytime soon.
Yeah, we're not happy. China's not happy with it right now.
Yeah, I'm not happy. I'm not happy about not being able to get my shit, but people, if this helps people learn about universal basic income and actually having a health system that works, okay, fair enough. So we're moving on. Cease and desist. Sony is being forced by Nintendo to remove Nintendo IP from Dreams.
The thing is,
What?
The thing about that is it kind of confused me, just because it was like, wouldn't that considered to be fan art or something? Like,
no,
it's not.
No,
I gotta hear this.
The reason it's not fan art is because Sony is selling Dreams. If Dreams was free to play, and Sony wasn't making money off of it, you could just say, well, these are people who are really excited about whatever. But because Sony is selling this as a game that they own the IP on, and people are using that game to make Nintendo IP and really shitty looking Nintendo IP, Like people are remaking GoldenEye and remaking Super Mario World, Bob-omb Battlefield and stuff like that. I'm like, you can just buy this. You can just buy a Switch. You can just go and get a Wii and get on the virtual. Well, no, you can't get on the virtual console. You can go on the Wii U and get on the virtual console and just play these games. You can get a Wii U for like $90 right now.
I'm trying not to laugh so hard.
I mean, it's kind of sad, really.
I'm sorry. I might not be able to stop laughing at this point.
People are remaking the Kokiri village from Ocarina of Time, where you start and people. I mean, really, for these Sony fanboys, they love Sony so much, but everything they're fucking remaking is Nintendo shit. What the fuck's up with that? That's just weird. You know what that's like? You know what that's like? That's like you getting dumped by your old girlfriend, or you dumping her, and you make your new girlfriend dress like your old girlfriend. That's basically what that's like. That's like, yeah, man, like your old girlfriend was tall and curvy and all, and really like wearing tight ass pink yoga type pants. And then your new girlfriend is short. She's still kind of thick, but she's short, and she can't wear those tight yoga type pants. But you're gonna make her wear that shit because your old girlfriend used to wear it. I mean, it's weird. It's weird. You Sony fanboys have a problem. Just get a Nintendo console and call it a day. All right, you know you want those Nintendo games. You know you want them. I'm like Robin Thicke from that song. You know she wants it. You know you want it. You want it. You want
Is
that.
It because it's a? I guess it's because the video. Yeah. It's...
I don't know. They're just really
thirsty.
Obsessed. They're obsessed with. It's like they love Nintendo IPs, but they don't want a Nintendo console, and they don't seem to realize if you want to play a Nintendo IP, you need a Nintendo console. It's weird. It's very weird. But let's keep it moving.
You want a Big Mac, you gotta go to McDonald's.
Yeah, you want a Whopper, you gotta go to Burger King. You want your.
Yeah, it's not easy. Go to the business that sells the item to get the item. Do not go to some secondhand BS.
Yeah, that's like going into a Burger King. Hey, I want a Filet-O-Fish. We don't have a Filet-O-Fish. We don't sell that. We have a BK Big Fish. Yeah, but your tartar sauce is not as good as McDonald's tartar sauce on their Filet-O-Fish. I don't know why. I think it's because they add a lot of MSG to their tartar sauce at McDonald's.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Most of the stuff at Burger King is as good as the stuff at McDonald's. Look. I'm comparing Burger King and McDonald's, so I know what it sounds like.
Look, let me put it this way, okay? I'll keep it real. Burger King's Whopper is really good. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Every once in a while, I'll go to a Burger King and I'll get a Whopper, and it is fucking delicious. And not even a Whopper with cheese, just a straight up Whopper with a little bit of mayo, a tomato, lettuce, onion, a pickle. Actually, I get mine without the onion because I don't like my breath smelling like that. But
I keep it plain. Burger,
some fries,
ketchup, onion, pickle,
and a Coke. With some fries and a Coca-Cola, and I'm good. Like that's all I want. That's all I need. That's all I want. That's all I need. But I mean, here's the thing: you don't go to a McDonald's. Hey man, I want a Whopper. We don't serve a Whopper. Well, shit, that's what I want. I can have it my way. That's Burger King, dumbass. But either way, it's just
you'd be told off if you did that stunt.
I mean, you could do it, but I mean, But anyway, Sony is gonna have to remove that shit. I'm not surprised, because I just think it's hilarious that these Sony fanboys are putting Nintendo IP in Sony shit. I'm like, it's not gonna happen. I know you guys get a hard on at night thinking about, remember when the Nintendo PlayStation was almost a thing, but it didn't happen. You guys want
Sony to steal Nintendo stuff, and you're salty that they didn't.
Yeah, Hiroshi Yamauchi was not gonna let Sony fuck him, and I don't blame him because no business person wants to get fucked by a large monolithic corporation, and he wasn't gonna let that shit happen. So there you go. Next little bit of topic. What Rockstar game would you like to see ported to the Switch?
Ooh, that's a tricky one though. The obvious is probably it's probably ev- it's probably either Red Dead Redemption or maybe one of the lesser known Rockstar games. Cause it's hard to think of anything that they do besides Grand Theft Autos.
All right.
GTA 5. I don't even really like that game, but it just makes the most.
You know
Just,
what? If they ported that game to the system, I would be. It would make me mad.
Yeah, it wouldn't
Because
make
if
me
they
mad
ported GTA 5 to the Switch, then I know that GTA 5 could have been on the Wii U, and they just didn't do it because they were fucking assholes. So no,
that and there's bad blood between Nintendo and Rockstar.
yeah, I know they're pissed off. I know they're mad, but
I mean, yeah, I know what you're gonna say. They need, you know, whatever. I'm sure a lot of people that were involved with a lot of those deals might still work at Rockstar. Might feel a little sore about it. But,
I mean, I know they're mad. I know they're like, man.
They're salted.
I know Nintendo. I know you guys got mad. I know you guys are mad because of that shit. But hear me out, okay? There are games that you put on the Switch that made a lot of money, like uh, I don't know, Tomb Raider. I don't know. No, Bully. The Bully Scholarship Edition. That's like the best version of that game on the Switch.
oh,
I mean,
I
I'm
didn't
not
know
gonna
Bully
lie.
came with.
Yeah, Bully. Not on the Switch. On the Wii. That game is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically GTA on a smaller scale, like old school GTA's on a smaller scale,
Yeah.
and it works. It fucking works. So stop with that shit and do it. God damn it. Do it. Do it. Do it. So here's some breaking news for you guys. You guys can get Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. You can get Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider reboot, and Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris for free, off of Steam, right now. And I know they came out in 2013, but you can get it now. It doesn't work for me because I already have Tomb Raider. The Lara Croft game, because when I got my old 390X, it came with it, and it's still in my Steam library, so I still have that game. But hey, if you guys want it, you can get it.
What game is that?
That Tomb Raider game, the reboot that came out in 2013.
Oof.
Yeah,
You can get it. They're giving it. They're giving it away.
they're giving it away. They're giving that shit away. I mean, I didn't like it because I don't like that version of Lara Croft because she's not hot. I know people are like, I know they made her more athletic, but like Tomb Raider, no one cared about her athleticism. People cared about that she was hot, and
Yeah, looks
I don't
aren't
want to
everything,
play.
ladies
I
and
don't
gents.
want to play an unhot Lara Croft. I'm sorry. I'm kind of like that. I like hot. If you have a hot female character, keep her hot if you're gonna keep on releasing games. Don't give me an unhot female character. I don't like that shit. It's annoying.
Who keeps pulling that off?
Hey man, we're gonna play a video game where the main character, we're rebooting it, but the main character isn't hot, but she was hot in all these other games. well, get out of my face. But that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I personally like hot. I mean, if you're gonna have hot characters, then let it stay hot. That's all I'm saying. Or as they say, just saying. Just saying. Like Homeboy over there. But anyway, that's my personal opinion. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. Let's see what else. So what? I guess I didn't say the Rockstar game that I like to see ported to the Switch is. I'd like to see the three GTAs that I like ported to the Switch. So they could do like a GTA, an old school GTA collection where it'd be GTA 3, Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories, GTA Vice City, GTA San Andreas. They could add Chinatown Wars to it, like all the old school GTAs that are like how GTA used to be back in the day. Because I don't like GTA 4 or 5 that much. I really don't. I think they're trash.
As in, they don't give you that feeling of satisfaction.
They just aren't fun. GTA 4 feels like a chore playing that game, and GTA 5 is better than 4, but that's like saying, hey man, someone broke in my house and kicked me in the nuts, or someone broke in my house and punched me in the face. It's like, I don't want to get hit either way, but if I had to get hit, they were going to hit me either way. I'd rather take the punch in the face versus getting kicked in the crotch. I'm just saying. just saying.
Flavorful way of saying it.
It's like if you're going to take a hit either way, it's like if you're in a car wreck, you would rather take a hit from the back than take a frontal collision where someone's crashing into you from the front. Because from the back, the back of your car is going to get messed up. But if you're in the front, they can hurt you too. Like you can get smashed in the car or whatever. Like I don't want that shit happening. So it's like if I'm going to get hit either way, I'd rather take it from the rear. That sounded wrong. I'd rather get hit from the back in a car accident than from the front. There you go. Next.
Enough said.
Yeah. Next, we have 10 video games you didn't realize that secretly. Well, no. Basically, Death Stranding bombed. As we all suspected, it bombed spectacularly.
It was an artsy. Those games don't usually. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I just think it's hilarious that Sony gave all that money to Hideo Kojima and he took that money and wiped his ass with it. Because he must have known the coronavirus was coming. And that's why he took that money and used it to wipe his ass to save the product.
Oh, God. If he predicted that, I'd be laughing my ass off.
He took their money and wiped his ass with it. I told everyone, I said, look, Hideo Kojima is fucking overrated. And was like, oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about. He's a genius. I'm like, okay. Yeah,
oh, if he's a genius, how the heck did he get his hands on being the lead on another game?
Here's what I'll say about Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima has made good games, but most of his good games are old. Okay.
I was about to say cliche old or
no.
Just
I mean,
plain
his better games are old. Is what I'm saying. Like his better games are his older games, like Snatcher, Police Knots. See what's another one? Snatcher, Police Knots. Shit, I forgot that other one.
If you think Bankai was a good game, I have to wonder what.
You mean Boktai?
Yeah.
The sun is. I mean, it was basically like kind of like a lower level.
Castlevania.
No. It was basically the premise of you're fighting against vampires, but you're actually a. It was more like Metal Gear Solid, but for kids, basically. It's basically what it was. It was Metal Gear Solid, but for kids. And I'm not against that. I'm not against a lower level Metal Gear Solid style game, but for kids. That doesn't bother me. I'm not bothered by that shit. No, I mean he has made good games. Like I said, he made
Yeah. Your mileage may vary, but he did make something good.
I mean, like games that I can legitimately, even though I don't personally like, I can understand why people like them. Like I can understand why people like the original Metal Gear games. I can understand why people like the original, or should I say, I can understand why people may like, Police Nuts and Snatcher, because those are legitimately good games. They have good premises behind them. The execution is pretty good. They tell an interesting story. You know, the gameplay is interesting and engaging. I can understand why people like those games, or even the games that he was the executive director on, which was Zona Enders. Even the Boktai games weren't that bad. The problem with Hideo Kojima is that he started to believe his own bullshit. And people kept on feeding his ego. And here's the thing, okay? Like I've heard people say, well, he's on the level of a Shigeru Miyamoto. I'm like, no.
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 No, no, no.
No, I would say about 80% of Shigeru Miyamoto's projects are good. Somebody enjoys them, okay? That's pretty good for a video game developer. Okay, now when I say 80%, I mean, you know, your Marios, your Zeldas, your Pikmins, your Star Foxes. You know, he's 80% of his work is pretty damn badass. Now, there's also that 20% that's some bullshit, like Devil World and Wii Music.
Oh, yeah, that's, we don't talk about Wii Music.
Yes. And Wii Music and coming in for Dinosaur Planet, which I still say that game would have been better had Star Fox never been in it. But that's just me, you know. I mean, you know, he's got some good shit. He's got some not some good shit. But the good shit outweighs the not some good shit. But Hideo Kojima has some stuff where it's like people praise it and it's like this is trash. Like Metal Gear Solid 4 is trash. Guns of the Patriots is a bad game. It's like literally like 60% of that game is cutscene. I mean, who the fuck thought that was a good idea? Yeah, 60% of this game is nothing but cutscenes. Who thought that was a good idea?
Heck? Yeah, isn't this 1776? I mean 86.
The Order. The Order.
Yeah.
The Order's 1886. I mean, yeah, but that game was a proof of concept demo that they stretched out into a game. And it had been in development for I want to say about 2 years. Like it had a normal development cycle, and like Sony was like, well, we need something to show off this game, and that was what they did. Like, you know. So, I mean, I'm not going to blame them for doing it. They were paid to do a job. They did it. I mean, you know, I mean, The Order is still a very pretty game, but I mean, it's a big fucking game. It's a big demo. It's not an actual game. It's a big proof of concept demo for the hardware specifications for the PS3. Which some people like shit like that. Me personally, like here's the thing: Nintendo does the same thing because Pilot Wings was a hardware
demo
game. The original F-Zero, Pilot Wings. Those games were designed to be proof of concept demos for the different modes that the system had. But I mean, hell, I would argue that a lot of Nintendo's games are demos that they stretch out, especially their launch titles are demos that they stretch out into games for the system. I mean, I don't have proof of this, but they just feel demo-like, if you will. And you know, that's just, you know, it's part of the you know, of how things are, unfortunately. but you know, that's just my feeling. That's just how it is. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. Okay, here's some Bethesda news. Bethesda accidentally left a Denuvo free exe in Doom Eternal's files. They're using Denuvo, but you can just go into the file folder on PC and click the Denuvo free exe if you don't want Denuvo slowing down your gameplay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How the heck is Denuvo still in business even when it is proven to slow your beeping stuff down?
And it's hacked in like a week.
I don't even know why does this stuff exist. Most people, if people really like your product, they're gonna buy it. I mean, I know in other countries there are countries that believe that everything should be free and open. They just go
Russia,
crazy.
China, Taiwan, Korea. Like, here's the thing.
Some of the countries, not just Russia, but like Norwegian countries too,
I mean,
doesn't believe that everything should be free and open.
let me put it this way about piracy, okay? The European, like Ubisoft and all these European developers fought this tooth and nail. But guess what? Piracy isn't what's causing them to lose fucking money. All right? It's not. It's like if you go to a grocery store, right? And they're like, well, people are stealing. Guess the fuck what, okay? If people steal products, and I don't mean rampant stealing, but I mean if 1 to 5% of what you have coming in is getting stolen, you're still not losing that much money. And what you're making up in revenue is far outstripping what's getting stolen, okay? The reason they're like, we want to stop people from pirating the game is because you notice that the amount of demos that are coming out are down. And a lot of those games, because when I was a college student, I'll admit it, I was broke and I didn't have money. I would pirate games. And let me tell you something, a lot of the games that I pirated, I'm glad I pirated them and I didn't spend, $30, $40, $50, $60 for the shit, because they weren't worth it. A lot of the games are trash.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the same thing with music. But there's an anime I really liked. I got the Black Flag edition of the anime. I really liked it. Ended up buying.
Yeah. Okay, music is ultimately subjective, okay? Yes, I will buy the vinyl. I will buy the MP3, or like now it's FLAC. It's not MP3 anymore, but back in the day it was MP3. I will buy the MP3, the CD of a thing, and then if I can find it, I'll get the vinyl of it. Cause I'm a audiophile. I like music. But look, listen, like, that's to your taste, because not everyone's account, like, some people really like hardcore metal music. I don't. I find it to be just annoying. But some people like that shit, and to get more power to you, okay? But, with video games, the experience is subjective, but some video games are objectively better than others. And if you're going to pirate some shit, it's like, why? I don't see the point of playing this. And some of these games are trash. And people pirate them and they find out, oh, it's trash, I don't need to buy this. And those are lost sales. Not because it was pirated, but because people found out your game was fucking trash. What was it called? What was that game that came out? Fallout 76. That game is trash. That is not a good game. That is legitimately, on any level, that is not a good game. And Bethesda put it out there. They were like, yeah, look at this. Bethesda was like a little kid who took a shit in the tub, who was being potty trained and took a shit in the tub and was like, yeah, I went potty. And the parents were like, yeah, you go to the bathroom. No! 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 Bethesda's a kid. Yeah, I did good. No, you didn't.
They should have known people were buy this game. Why do they? Just like, it doesn't make it like Doom. That's like one of the few games that they have that are
And
Isn't
that's
it?
not even their game. That's an id Software game because they bought id. They bought id Software.
Ah,
You know?
such
It's like,
dumb.
yeah, De Novo takes up so much more resources than
Yeah,
what's necessary.
yeah.
Annoying.
And Borderlands 3 on my PC. Like I have a top of the line graphics card from last gen. I should be able to run Borderlands mid-tier settings, no problem. But Denuvo is literally crippling. Uh, it's well, it's not crippling, but it stutters. It stutters for no goddamn reason. Cause like it's not like I have other shit running in the background that's doing a lot of shit. Cause before I do anything, the only thing that I might have running is my recording software. But that's a very light load. Because my graphics card is built to record while I'm playing. Because I like to capture footage for my videos. Um,
Which is a good thing.
you know, because I mean I don't just like talking. You know, because sometimes I'm looking at notes because I've started scripting myself in some of my videos. It's just it's a pain in the ass. I'm sorry, it's a pain in the damn ass, and they keep on doing this shit. Oh well, I can't believe you did that shit, man. What's wrong with you?
Eh,
Yeah, I said it. What is wrong with you, son? What is wrong with you?
Their functions must be out of order.
These children are brain damaged. Brain damage. But yeah, yeah, I'm at this point. I don't have much faith for any of them at this point. I don't trust them.
Yeah, I honestly don't think we should trust them.
You know, like everyone's like, well, piracy. It's like, man, piracy is not what's bringing down games. Okay, you people making forgettable games is what's bringing down games. All right. Okay, making games that are, you know, if you make disposable games that are easily forgotten, then that's why that's why your games aren't selling as well. Okay, there you go. Stop always trying to say, well, it's this. This is how stupid that sounds. Okay, if you go to Walmart, okay, Walmart has thousands of items. Okay, let's say Walmart has thousands of items. Okay, thousands of fucking items. Okay, and you know they make most of their money off of slightly marking up basic shit. Okay, and then someone steals some golf clubs. One guy steals $300 worth of golf clubs. Okay, fair enough. They stole $300 worth of golf clubs, but I guarantee you, the amount of people that's a small dent in the amount of revenue that's being generated by people buying the other shit at Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like you're not going to if people really want to risk stealing their game and because we already know that De Novo can crack. You know,
Yeah.
they were talking about, oh, we have the greatest software ever.
After a
It's
week, the shit gets
uncrackable.
cracked. Yeah, after a week, after a week to 2 weeks, the shit gets cracked. So if you really
If
don't
it
want to,
exists, it can be broken. So
yeah, the only shit that I've seen that was basically damn near unbreakable is that shit that they had on Spore. Now that shit was ridiculous. Or that
it
or
also
that
broke.
yeah, it also broke the
It
game.
also
Yeah.
it also broke the game.
Yeah. That shit was uncrackable, and whatever that shit was what shit, I forgot their name. That Ubisoft had on their games where it literally was breaking the game.
Yeah, there was a problem with that with Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah, where the shit was so bad that it was like breaking the game. Okay, fair enough. You know that. But I mean, even then, I mean, like, you know, like there's a certain point, like even legitimate people who wanted to buy those games were having trouble playing those games because their antivirus software thought the shit was a
A virus.
virus, and they wouldn't let them play their game. You know,
Which you have to admit is almost ironically funny that your computer could find this to be so bad that it's a virus.
yeah, that's bad. It is so bad when your antivirus software, which every computer needs antivirus software. Especially if you're going on the internet. If you're going on the internet, your computer needs antivirus software. And these days, half of the shit people are doing is going on the internet, so you need antivirus software. For those of you who aren't into computers, antivirus software is essentially like a condom.
Rubbering up.
Yeah, it's like a condom, and the internet is like having sex, and your computer is a person. So every time you go on the internet, you're having sex, and guess what? You gotta use protection every time. Every time, all the time.
A few times I'm more vulgar and yet use less words.
Yeah, you gotta. You know, look.
Wrap it up.
You'd rather have antivirus software and not need it than need antivirus software and not have it, because you do not want your computer to be taken over by the pop-ups or those "We are here from Microsoft."
Oh yeah, I had a family member that.
Yeah, my mom recently retired. And I had to go to her house and install antivirus software because she didn't know that she had to install antivirus software. And let me tell you something, it is not fun having to basically just like, hey, yeah, you got to have antivirus software. You can't just like go anywhere and pop up block and ad block. You know, and don't click on that. That's not the thing. Don't. Oh God, no! Why would you click on that?
Yeah, that's what happens when you got internet and ignorance. That's what I'm going to call it.
Well, my mom should know better because she worked on a computer for most of her professional life. At this point, she should know better than to do that. But no, she can do whatever she want to do. So, what can you say? But anyway, as I was saying, at this point, I just don't really care about. I'm not particularly. I'm not really into.
Genuvo?
Well, I'm not. I think antivirus is just bullshit.
You mean piracy?
No, I'm not into antivirus. Like I'm not into the anti-piracy software that these. Because basically at this point, it's like, here's the thing, it doesn't work. It doesn't statistically, it's like they did a 10-year study. It's not stopping piracy. Okay, it's either in some places holding steady, in other places going up. So it doesn't work. You're just passing on more bullshit to the consumer, to people who legitimately want to buy this shit. You know. So no, I'm done. So, I mean, that's why I buy a lot of shit for
PC.
No, because PC has. I mean, that's what Steam basically is. It's one big anti-piracy thing. Except Steam is not as obtrusive as other anti-piracy things, but it's basically one big anti-piracy thing. But it's cool about it, so I'll give it.
Props.
I'll give it props for that. It's not as overbearing as, say, Denuvo or Securom. That's that motherfucker, Securom. I hate Securom. Ugh.
Sounds like Succubus. Securom.
No, Securom, where where we suck you wrong. That's right. We're gonna suck you by sucking on your ear. It's the wrong thing to be sucking. Sekiro, ruining everything for everybody. Yeah, Sekiro. But yeah, don't really, I think anti-piracy software is bullshit anyway. I think we can all agree on that.
I I have to wonder if it is worth it, but I could agree with you on the worst of the worst not being worth it.
Look, I have a good idea. Instead of always wondering about how you want people to,
Play your games.
not pirate your games, just make good games. If you make good
Yeah.
games, people will buy the shit. Look at Nintendo. I mean, yeah, the DS was heavily pirated, but Nintendo also made a lot of fucking money off of the DS too. So,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you make good games, they will come.
yeah,
That's
from,
logic,
that's
right?
from that
Make it,
movie.
uh,
If you build it, he will come.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
wanna- I understand protecting your property, but people will pay for the stuff that they like.
So, if anything, how there's always that listen of build it and they will come, but also to listen to the audience. This
Yeah.
is what happened with the comic industry, mind you. They are not listening to the audience.
I mean, here's what I'll say. I think they may be trolling people, and if they are trolling people, I actually find that hilarious. Because here's the thing: everyone's always like, "Ah, man, I don't like social justice warriors. I don't like social justice warriors." And I mean, okay, like some of the people who were saying this, I can understand why they're saying it, because they're white dudes, who, I mean, traditionally have had a lot of privileges any goddamn way. But then you find people who are people of color and women who, I mean, literally a lot of the privileges they enjoy, we got because people were quote unquote social justice warriors. So, I mean, first of all,
I'm
that
talking about the
term
fake one.
is stupid. Oh, you're a social justice warrior. Yeah, man, fuck that Martin Luther King Jr. and all the myriads of people who stood up for, the
Yeah.
rights and privileges they should have had.
Here's the thing: those are real social justice warriors.
Fuck
Well,
those
I'm
people.
talking
I
about the
don't-
soy latte social justice warriors that cry whenever things go south.
Oh, you mean
Well,
overly
yeah,
sensitive
that- yeah,
people who
but,
just
I mean,
use
those-
that as a term to just get
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
That's not when people are
Yeah.
social justice warriors. I'm not talking about those people.
Yeah,
particularly.
but they use that catch-all term on those people, which gets on my nerves because they're like they're social justice warriors. It's like, well, why don't we find a different term to use? Because I find it really annoying for you to, because as someone who studied that shit, like I find it disparaging to the people who actually did do that shit so that people could have rights and privileges and shit like that. Yeah, I find it a little on the wow, that's kind of a dick move to say to someone. But I get what you're saying, that it's there are a group of people who I would call agitators and false
False prophets.
I don't want to use prophets because it makes it sound religious, and there's nothing religious about it. They're people who want to use a movement falsely, like your Anita Sarkeesians, who basically they're using an it term in order to get a leg up,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like that. But what are you gonna do? I mean, the only thing you can't do is just not get involved with the shit,
Yeah. Which kind of bugs me to no end.
I mean, that's what I do. I just don't get involved with the shit. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm not getting involved with it. Fuck you. I'm done. So, we're almost to the end of the podcast. Anyone have any topics they want to bring up before we wrap things up?
To be honest with you, I just got a question. What are we gonna do next week?
What are we gonna do? Well, since everyone seems to be on lockdown, more often than not, I even at this point I got a side hustle, not because not for the money, but because I was just bored out of my damn mind. So what I wound up doing is I'm going to be tutoring kids online. So that's nice for cheap. Like I think it's like $15 an hour. So, but next week we'll probably be doing a podcast based upon. Oh wait, no. Next week. Let me check. I think we might have to start rescheduling the cast on Saturday. Here, let me check.
What time?
Let me check. I'm looking at my my schedule, my new schedule. Yes, Saturday. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be working Saturdays, doing some other stuff at night, and I won't be getting off until 9. So,
Change it to Sunday.
if that works for everyone, because Sunday I'm not working, so we can move the Saturday cast to Sunday. Does that sound good to everyone, or is
That-
that not good?
That might work, but if anything, I have to tell you if my D&D group is going on.
Well, I mean, if not, because I know Kenoshi has a thing going on Sunday too, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Another casting.
Well, fine then. We'll just keep doing the Wednesday one. That'll be the fun cast, and I guess we'll cover a little bit of news, and we'll just.
What about Friday? I can on the cast on Friday.
Okay. Does that sound good? Jewel Friday.
That works, especially
right.
since I'm usually working to finish something up, and I'll be.
Okay, so we moved our Saturday cast to Friday, so same time, just Friday. Okay then, so with that being said, that's the end of the podcast. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe, go play video games. There's all types of stuff to play, or you can watch...
Us.
Yeah, you could watch us, or you could binge all types of other stuff. That's what I've been doing. I've been binging all types of shit. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, son! So with that being said, that's in the podcast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. You can reach us at
Interact responsibly.
Actually, I was gonna steal something from Double Toasted, but no. To get in touch with you can reach me at Mr. Red Fox BS Buster at gmail.com or at Twitter at Matthew Wesley at Mr. Red Fox 91. Do any of you guys want to be reached? I know Kenoshi's Kenoshi, you trying to get your podcast off the ground? You wanna pimp yourself out there, sir?
Yeah, I have not, but I think I might do something this week since we're locked in our houses. Can't go anywhere, so.
Like that line from Friday, you ain't got nothing to do. You ain't got no job. I'm gonna get you high, Craig.
Yeah.
That's right, Craig. How you get fired on your day off?
You gotta do something pretty dumb for being fired on your day off.
I might go watch that movie just to, that is such a good movie. The first Friday is a fucking masterpiece. The second one's not that good. The third one's pretty good too. But the first one, mwah. Go ahead.
So I might do something probably either maybe Sunday afternoon, night, I don't know.
Right.
But my sign off, I think I finally found a decent sign off, and that's OFTB, meaning one for the books.
All right. Okay. So with that being said, that's in the podcast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. I'm gonna hand out some fuck yous. Fuck GameStop for making people work, making the people who do the hard work so that you guys can make money work when there's a fucking pandemic going around that's killing elderly and young people and making people sick, but they need to go to work. And you can't even give them cleaning supplies. You're like, well, you buy the cleaning supplies and we'll reimburse you later. That's some wimpy oil shit. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for some sanitizer today. It's like, really? That's some fucked up
That
shit,
is
man.
wrong.
Like some
That's
locations
so-
ran out of toilet paper, so the people can't even wipe their ass when they go to the bathroom. I'm telling you something, man. GameStop, you're fucking foul. And Reggie, if you're smart, you need to get the fuck out of there right now, man. Like, I'm out. My body was
he's
not
probably-
ready. My body was not ready for this bullshit. He's like, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah, GameStop is a really scummy company.
Oh yeah, they're foul. They're foul. They're like, yeah, we got Reggie. Reggie, you better get out of there, man. Get out of there. Enjoy your Nintendo Golden Parachute and get out of there because they are fucking foul. So that being said, yeah, fuck GameStop, fuck Sony, fuck EA, fuck Bethesda, fuck Microsoft, fuck. Let's see who else. I'm gonna give a fuck you to Nintendo, but not Nintendo as a company, but that NES Online and SNES Online library. Fuck those two libraries. They suck. So that being said, that's in the podcast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace. Good night, and enjoy.